avoidable explosions of some of the vehicles already converted from petrol-powered automobiles to CNG-powered ones. Senator Natasha Hoti, in particular, wanted to know if adaptability test or research was conducted before the idea of CNG was brought into the country for implementation, stressing there was danger in adapting any form of technology without proper research or test on its adaptability. It's on that note, the perspective this morning is looking at the challenges and prospects of the compressed natural gas, especially for mass transit. Mr. Didi Oluwaseun is the Chief Operating Officer, Skywise Group. His organization has expertise in exchange and upgrade of cars, amongst others. While Honorable Osinachi Mbauma is the Deputy National Chairman, South National Youth Alliance, NYA. Gentlemen, it's a pleasure to have you on the program.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Well, Perspective, a weekly program that highlights trending issues as they unfold in the country, today focuses on the challenges and prospects of the compressed natural gas, especially, please take note, especially for mass transit. My name is Buki Towuru, your host. Well, gentlemen, despite the risks, can CNG adoption offer significant benefits to the country's transportation system?
Okay, should I take the lead or
Why not?
Okay, my name remains Odidi Oluwaseun, Chief Operating Officer, Skywise Group. Now we'll look at the perspective which you highlighted. You said the mass transit, right? Because it conveys a large number of people. And now we're looking at how best to reduce the too many cars on the road at the same time and still ensuring that there is a deliverable of mass transit of individuals to their particular place of work or their place of earning. So in that perspective, we look at the safety. Now for the safety of the CNG, compressed natural gas, in the economy itself, there is room for what we call diversification. That was what brought about this OCNG idea concept. And also, don't forget, we have this natural gas in excess. We've had it long before now. We've discovered it long before now. And there is a need to diversify. Haven't seen the pressure the petrol have on masses. I'm sure you can see the difference in the past Christmas we spent. There was no issue of too many scarcity of fuel or reason for many queues happening. Now, we look at the safety. Let me pick the safety too. Now, the safety there might not be 100% guaranteed, but there's what we call continuous and review. This continuous review leads to the fact that there will be more and more provisions made to ensuring that there is safety. Safety is not 100% guaranteed, right? But in constant checks and balance, it leads you toward getting a perfect view about how to use this mass transit appropriately. Now, for example, I was driving through and I found out, I saw two buses. Now, one of the buses uses diesel, right? And I saw the emotion that comes out of it, the smoke while the guy was just driving through, and the glasses were wind down. Now, tell me the volume of what the passengers are going to inhale before getting to destination. Then I saw another mass transit, which was part of the one they launched recently. The old glasses was wind up, and what makes me quickly realize was there was no smoke, and the glasses were wind up, and that tells me that, sorry, that tells that this is a CNG bus, right? And it means that the car is being powered by the CNG, right? And the AC is on. It means everybody is cooling off. The car or the bus is moving very well at his own pace, and the other one is struggling. While struggling, is still dealing with the smoke, right? You can compare the two. So we've looked at the safety. We've also checked about the environmental pollution aspect of it, which you have a cleaner energy, cleaner gas, and the ones not too clean. Then the other part of it is the infrastructure. Now, we might not have all the infrastructure to cater for CNG, the way we have the fuel system. But we can always clamor for room for improvement and ensuring these things are being looked into because, okay.
So what you have talked about now, the safety,
Yes.
the
Clean
comfort of the people, the clean,
Yes.
being able to move people in mass,
Mass.
there are enough benefits for the
Yes.
country. Do you share the same opinion, Honorable?
All right, thank you very much. You know, the whole idea about CNG is a very good one because, you know, in developed countries, CNG has been in use for many years now. In fact, Nigeria, we are coming late. We should have come long before now because of the fact that Nigeria is a gas country. You know, there are 4 A's in this CNG matter, and that's availability, affordability, accessibility, and acceptability. Now, when you talk about availability, we have enough natural gas to harness. You know, all this why we should have done this like many years before now. So it's a good idea that this administration, even though politically we may not agree, but on this matter, they have done well to have even come up with this idea because we have deposit of natural gas up to 6 trillion standard cubic meters.
So we can't fault the
So
availability
of
of it.
course,
the
so
other
now
is-
it's available. Now let's talk about affordability. It's affordable, even though based on certain
Not for all
factors.
classes.
No, even though based on certain, no, I'm talking about the CNG itself, not the conversion. We'll come to the conversion because that's another aspect of it.
Because that was my question. Is the adoption of it significant to the
On
country?
the mass
Yes,
transit.
yes, on the transportation system.
Yes,
So
yes.
we're good.
You know, it's a gradual process. It's a build-up. We have to go from one stage to another stage because it can't happen like a flash and suddenly there is reduced transportation fare because there is CNG technology being used in Nigeria at the moment. You know, so now the affordability has to do with comparing it to petrol at the moment, considering the economy at the moment, CNG is affordable. But is it accessible? Is it easily accessible? That's where we are now because government is rolling out some programs, and I know also there are a whole lot of businesses, you know, interested in this sector. They want to invest to make it more accessible so that they can build infrastructure, get more filling stations that will be, you know, dispensing CNG. They want to, you know, come up with more workshops where, you know, people be trained for the conversion so that there will be more centers where people can do their conversion. Because currently, Nigerians are embracing it. Originally, the issue of safety was the problem of its acceptability because many Nigerians, having had experience with LPG, you know, gas explosion, anytime you hear gas, then, you know, explosion comes to mind. You know, so, but now we need to let Nigerians know that the CNG in itself is safer than petrol and is safer than diesel. In fact, CNG is 18 times less explosive than petrol and 8 times less explosive than diesel. Now, it is compressed natural gas in the sense that it is reduced, the gas is being compressed in a way that it can be contained in a cylinder that has an adiabatic wall. Adiabatic wall means that gas can hardly escape because there are thick layers of the cylinder, not like the normal cooking gas that we use because that one is not as thick as the gas for CNG. So that's why when people cut corners, you know, Nigerians, some people can go to one place and they say, we can construct it, and they just construct something that can explode. But there is a standard for this. You don't just construct it, you don't just go to anybody to get you, you know, a CNG cylinder. You have to go to accredited CNG, you know, conversion points.
Okay, so given the challenges enumerated by both the National Assembly and Nigerians around the CNG vehicles, does it call for concerns on issues of due process, or are they a fallout associated with the acceptance of the technology?
Well, I think the awareness will lead us to acceptance because what you're not aware of, you can either accept or decline. So now, the awareness push is not as when you have pandemic diseases. Now, the awareness should go beyond just the city area or the rural areas, whereby people can easily get to know that there is a benefit attached to the fact that you use CNG. Now, for the rural areas, before now, they are okay with their kerosene life of just cooking with firewood and all that. They might tell you they don't even know about kerosene. But over time, you find out that the wooden has reduced to a certain level that even kerosene now is now taking a shape in their way of life of cooking. It means that they are now more aware that there is a faster means to getting things done rather than looking for charcoals and all of that during those times. Now, for now, we're dealing with fuel and CNG. Now, if they can know that solar or one way or the other, you having a certain gasoline or natural gas can help make work easy in farms, plantations, you find out that agricultural produce will be very easy to purchase and at affordable prices. Now, if there's no infrastructure to and policies guiding all of this, both rural and urban areas would definitely not still make this progress. Everybody will still dwell on the one they know, which is the fuel side.
Now, talking about due process, just like you mentioned, Nigerians, because of the kind of system we'll be running, because of corruption, the whole idea of cutting corners has like become part of us. But we hoping is that very soon Nigeria will be free from such kind of things. We like to cut corners a lot. Nigerians should understand that this is not the regular thing. You need to go and start looking for a way to do it yourself, get anybody to construct CNG cylinders, because the excuse they are giving is because the conversion is kind of expensive. Some people say that for some vehicles they convert at 700,000, 600,000, some vehicles 1 million naira. Now talking about mass transportation, how many people can afford it? How many taxi drivers, bus drivers can afford it? And the buses, the CNG buses are available. Some of them came as palliatives, and they are very minimal, compared to the number of people that need buses, to move from point A to B in Nigeria. So it's highly negligible. We can't really see the impact, and of course,
so awareness is necessary.
Awareness is necessary.
So
people,
like the government did to taking the LPG to the villages, to as much as give out cylinders to people, show them how to use it. Do you also expect the same for this to become a technology that is accepted and of course become safer?
With time, it will be.
But do you look at the public-private partnership in this whole deal? Now, imagine the road NURT WR. Now, imagine the government having to say, okay, we have already buses we bought for capitals or state level. Now, how best are you guys managing this asset given to the state level or the capital level? Now, can we provide a certain infrastructure that says we have given the state a particular vehicle? We have given this infrastructure in this state level. Now you can go convert this at a particular fund, right? Now it's still controlled by the road transport system, right? And somehow the government still regenerate their revenue from this. And by doing that, why private individuals are struggling to do this conversion still makes the transport system still high, because they're bringing it out from their hard earnings to convert and still make a living. Now you find out that they are struggling with private person doing his road transport business, then the other commercial or public transport system. There can be a balance in the price system.
We are very far from getting the cost of transportation reduced because of CNG. In addition to what he has said,
that was my first question.
Based on cost of conversion, which he has mentioned, CNG is not easily accessible. If you come to Abuja, how many places can you get CNG? So even when you see a place where CNG can be gotten, the queue is long. People can stay there for a whole day waiting for their turn for them to get CNG. So nobody goes through that process, and the person reduces transport fare. So now
are they not also part of the challenge of the introduction of a new thing?
It's part of the challenge. We are still at the point where we are still trying to get this technology become part of us. So there must be challenges. Government has a lot of work to be done. Now, these keys, conversion keys, are all imported. Nigeria has all it takes in Nigeria today, from the beginning to the last point of the value chain of the CNG economy. We can do the whole production here. Even the cylinders, the conversion kits in total, we can do them here.
So does that not link us to what Senator Akpoti said, asking the question, was there research done? What were the findings? What was the
the technology?
plan? What was the background?
The technologies are available. The technologies are available. It has been there. Brazil has been using it. In fact, Japan has been collecting our natural gas to power their own CNG, and they are using it completely now for their mass transport. Now, when you come, to Nigerian factor, now the government has a lot of work to do, because it's now like we are moving from importing petrol to importing CNG kits. You understand? So we need to look at it holistically, because the technology is not a high-end technology. It's something we can easily do. Nigerians should look at, for instance, if government should take the project of Ajaokuta Steel Company seriously, we can produce enough steel for CNG, cylinders.
So now all this is pointing to the fact that probably enough background work wasn't done.
Enough background work. This administration and their approach, you understand, is one thing to bring up a good policy. It's another thing to bring up measures to protect that policy and make that policy viable and make that policy beneficial to the people. Because at the end of the day, you have introduced a good policy for Nigerians to begin to use CNG is a good development. But now the problem is there are a lot of challenges attached to it, which even government is not ready to address.
Well, on the private sector, the point is, we at Skywise are actually working on what we call service excellence. Now, we have a section that has to do with CNG, putting together CNG compartment or installation.
But that's a private establishment.
Yeah, that's a private.
So cost
it means cost of doing that is far beyond what government are going to offer. And we might do our best to ensure you get the maximum result, which is 100%, right? But the timeline will be faster, because we're doing it based on the availability of the funds, because you're providing the fund outright, and we sort it out.
Will you also speak for all the private people who
yes,
want
for
to invest?
for private, they could
So does
invest.
that not say the bureaucratic process when it comes to government things, it's also affecting?
For the government, it takes process, because it's not affecting just one person. For any government policy, it affects all, both the private and the public, but it might affect the public more because the funding is different from a private funding. Private funding is a direct funding, right? Public takes its own process of funding. So now on this part of view is, for the government to succeed in all of this, there has to be this public-private partnership. On this case, the case is the CNG, right? The compressed natural gas. Private sector might tell you, I have the equipment, the technological part of it. I'm bringing them this quota. Government says, I have this land mass. Let us do this together. Because what you see is government might actually say, I want to get the land, I want to put in the infrastructure. Now, what about the manpower you're putting in that position? Are they really informed in running this thing well? Even if they are informed, what about the subordinate in the line channel to getting this done? They might not. So equipping or ensuring that right person in the right peg hole go a long way in ensuring that we have the safety check, the infrastructure check, the affordability and the accessibility of it, because you have to be able to assess it. Rural and urban, how best do they assess these things? And in summary of it is the professional way of you getting through all of this. How professional are you getting this? Or you just feel everybody should just know the same language, you pass the information out, get CNG, get CNG. And some people will still tell you today, either they don't know the full meaning of the CNG or they don't even know what the CNG means, because they are so used to the pattern of petrol, not petrol.
Okay, this is Perspectives on Capital FM 92.9, which the program runs for 45 minutes every Monday from 11:15 hours Nigerian time. It takes a look at trending issues as they unfold with the professionals, helping us make sense of the issue for better understanding. The challenges and prospects of the compressed natural gas for mass transit is the issue for today.